Hello, my name is Lucas Lee, and today we will be learning about exponents. So, today we will be answering the four questions. What is an exponent? What is a power? How do you add and subtract exponents? And what is the difference between negative and positive exponents? So, first, what is an exponent? An exponent is a number multiplied by itself a certain amount of times. So, an example would be 2 to the second, which is also written as 2 times 2, which is also 4. The exponent is this, and it's multiplied by itself twice. So next, what is a power? A power is a small number on the right specifying how many times a number should be multiplied by itself. So let's say we're given 3 to the fifth. The power is this, and it's showing us that we can multiply 3 5 times. Okay, next, how do you add or subtract exponents? Well, I'll give an example. We'll do 2 squared plus 2 to the third. So just to start off, 2, that's a base. And these are the powers. So since the bases are the same, you can add the powers together, which gets you 2 to the fifth. Or you can do 2 times 2 plus 2 times 2 times 2. And these come from there, and these come from there. That is also equal to 2 fifths. Next, you can subtract, which is also 2 to the fourth minus 2 to the second. We'll do that. And since again the bases are the same, you subtract the powers and you get 2 to the second. Or you can do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 minus 2 times 2. So you can either simplify or cross these out because they're division or subtraction. And then that leaves you with 2 squared, and 2 squared is 4. So what is the difference between negative and positive exponents? Well, we'll start with the negatives. Negative and then positive. Well, negative 2 squared is 4. And that's because negative 2 times negative 2 equal to 4. And the same is for the positive because you can't go negative. The positive 2 times 2 is equal to 4. But there's an exception because if you multiply by an odd power, do negative 2 to the third, you'll get negative 8. Because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. But if you do 2 to the third, that's 8, positive 8. 2 times 2 times 2. So just know that if there's an even power, that the number will always be positive. And if there's a negative power, the answer will always be negative. But that's only when you're multiplying by a negative base. So examples. I have a couple down here. We'll start with number 1. Find 12 squared. So 12 squared is the same as doing 12 times 12, which is equal to 144. So your answer is 144. And you can check this by doing 144, the square root of 144, which is 12. The square root is the opposite of squaring a number. Okay, next. Find 3 plus 4 squared. So we'll add in between parentheses, so that's 7. 7 squared is equal to 49. Again, we can do the square root of 49, which gets us to 7, and then 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Okay, the third one. Find 3 squared plus 3 to the third. So we can either do 3 to the fifth because the bases are the same, and then you add the powers, or you can just do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 to the fifth. Okay, 4. Find 5 to the fifth minus 5 to the second. Again, since the bases are the same, you would do 5 minus 2 minus the powers, and then you get 5 to the third power. Or you can just do 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 minus 5 times 5. And then these cancel out. Then you get left with 5 to the third. Number 5, find negative 2 squared. So we know that the power is even. So we know the answer is going to be positive. So, and we can solve this by doing negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to 4. So the answer is 4. Number 6, find negative 3 to the third. So this one, compared to the other one, is an odd number. So we know the answer is going to be negative. Then we do negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That gets us to negative 27. So again, just to summarize, the difference between these two, 5 and 6, is that the power is either odd or even. So moving on to number 7, if 2 plus 3 to the x is 25, what is x? So just to start, we're going to do inside the parentheses. 5, 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 to the x is equal to 25. And we're trying to look for the x exponent. We can just start plugging in numbers. We can do 5 to the first, 5 to the second, 5 to the third, and 5 to the fourth. And I'm doing this 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 times 5, 125. And this one is 625. So whichever one of these matches 25, which is 5 to the second, then we know x is equal to 2. And we can check that by doing 2 plus 3 to the second power is equal to 25. So 5 squared is equal to 25. 25 is equal to 25. So that is correct. The answer is 2. So just to summarize, what is an exponent? An exponent is a number multiplied by itself a certain amount of times. We'll do 2 squared is 2 times 2. It's multiplying 2 twice. What is a power? The power is the number on top that determines how many times you should multiply by itself. And then how do you add or subtract the exponents? You can either add the powers, but that's only if the bases are the same. And you can do the same thing with subtraction if the bases are the same. What is the difference between the negative and positive exponents? If the power is even, then you should get a positive number. But if the power is odd, then you'll get a negative number. And if it's even, the negative exponent will equal the positive exponent if they're the same. But if they're negative, they will be complete opposites. Okay, thank you for watching this week's video.